Friends, in this video for ithought Advisor, I am going to talk to you on the topic choosing an advisor. Today, there is an official circular from SEBI as to what kind of standards have to be met while making an advertisement. Especially if you are an advisor, then you are not supposed to do many things and you are supposed to do things in a certain way. Personally, I am not for advertising an advisory practice. I feel that you can talk about your work, you can explain your philosophy, you can explain your service, but beyond that, I am not a votary of advertising, because what have we seen in advertising? We have seen advertising of performance of model portfolios. Now, if you think clearly, the model portfolio shows a return based on timelines which do not reflect the portfolios of most of the investors. So, I think that it's not a bright idea to advertise performance in an advisory, because the individual investors' performance is going to vary drastically from any model portfolio. So, showing a model portfolio to attract new investors is, in my opinion, not a sensible thing for an advisor to do. The second point, should an investor be convinced to choose his advisor based on an advertisement? I think a lot of engagement should happen. The commonness in investment philosophy should be established. Interest alignment should be clearly appreciated. And after you have all these things properly sorted out, then if you are able to agree on the commercials, then you can decide to engage with an advisor. But we have seen a lot of advertising make people choose advisors. I think that in some it has worked very well, but in a large majority the advertising has not led the investors correctly. There has been a lot of misleading, and this is acknowledged by various stakeholders. Now, I don't want to go into who did what, but as a concept, I think a service should be chosen and not something which you buy on impulse or advertisement. So, you need to understand, appreciate and want to engage. Without the understanding and appreciation of what the advisor has to offer you, I don't think there is merit in your engaging with an advisor. It's important for investors today to spend a lot of time before they zero in on an advisor. We have seen in many cases stock tips being given under the advisory practice. These tips tend to be trading oriented. Now, if an investor takes a trading tip and makes an investment, what happens? The trading tip initially works very nicely and then it loses its momentum. So, the price goes up and then starts coming down. So, eventually when an investor takes trading tips under advisory, he ends up losing money, and he only has himself to blame, because the advisor only told him you can do these things. In the end, the investor made the choice. This is something which investors are still not appreciating enough. In a RIA practice, in a relationship which is established under RIA, the advisor may give you 7 or 8 recommendations. You choose. In the end, it's your responsibility to decide what you want. There, I think investors are not yet accustomed to taking full responsibility for the investments. If the investment is wrong, they want to blame the advisor. And advisors could go wrong quite often. It's not as if an advisor is a fault-free, fail-proof decision engine. You could have some decisions going wrong for every advisor. But the investor should be able to identify some of the decisions which the advisor is giving, which is not in his interest, and stay away from it. More often than not, it's the other way around. Investors actually don't question bad decisions and question the good decisions. So, this is again something where the relationship must be well understood and the role play must be clearly practiced. All this comes from a sales oriented culture in advisory. This should never have been. For some strange reason it came in. I still think that the advisory profession should be like a doctor's profession or a lawyer's profession or a chartered accountant's profession. There should not be advertisement. That is my personal belief. You can explain your work, you can give interviews on what you have done, and you can stick to a certain code of conduct which is prescribed and which is keeping the investor informed and at the same time educated, and not something where you are doing enticement, right? So, advertising is something which is unnatural to an advisory profession. I believe that it is better not to have it, because the consequences of advertising are many. Some advertisements could later lead to a lot of trouble for everybody, and it's better to not have advertisements at all, especially based on the past performance of the advisor. It is very important for advisors to stick to philosophy, to stick to what they can offer and how it will fulfill the investors' financial and emotional needs. So, in that sense, your role play must be well defined, your costs must be well explained, and what you will deliver must be clearly understood by all parties. Thank you for watching this video.